I breastfeed William and Audrey, and that William still does feed sometimes, but not near as much as Audrey. And today, while I was at Walmart, a woman felt like it was okay to try and shame me publicly for feeding Audrey. She repeated about, I don't even know how many times, for almost 5 minutes, how nasty it was that I was feeding her and to put a blanket on. Well, she sat next to me. I was at the insurance booth and she was at the lottery counter, side by side. I finally just turned to her and I said, "Excuse me?" And she didn't reply. I thought we were done. I tried to be polite. I was just going to inform her that if she didn't like it, she could move, because I have every right to be here and I have every right to feed Audrey where she needs to be fed, covered or not, and I don't cover. The woman then proceeded to pack her stuff up and continually called me nasty. She said, "That's nasty. Have respect for yourself. How dare you do that in public?" And she kept going. She started to leave the building. I shouldn't have said anything, but I felt the need to just give her a little bit of information. And I had to raise my voice because she was a little ways away from me. So I hollered across the room, informing her that it was law that I could feed my daughter anywhere I wanted to, and that I did not have to cover up. I yelled pretty loud, but not loud enough to really scare the kids. I mean, Audrey was still feeding and William was fine standing next to me. And I drew the attention of about 100 people who stood there and stared at her. And I want to thank that woman and tell her how disappointed I am in her. But thanking her for her drawing attention to something that didn't need to be drawn attention to, but she did anyways. And in light of that, about 100 people now realize that women should not be picked on when they're breastfeeding. And I am a strong woman. I'm not afraid to stand up for myself. I know that I am very loud and obnoxious sometimes, but if this had been someone whose first time feeding in public without a cover, or someone who wasn't confident, or someone who was having problems, or someone's kid who needed to be fed immediately because of health concerns, that could have easily turned into that mom and that baby feeling a lot more different than I did. That could have been the first time that mom ever nursed in public, and this woman could have changed that experience for the worst. I have heard of women who stop breastfeeding because people shame them in public, and that is wrong, and you have no right to talk to a mom who is breastfeeding other than to cheer her on and smile at her. I'm lucky. I have breastfed for 2 years, and this is the second time I have run into an ignorant person. Usually I get smiles and nods and people cheering me on, and that's what I give out. But if you have something to say about someone nursing, it is not your position to talk about it. If you'd rather see a kid covered, it is not your right to tell that mother to cover up. You can turn your eyes and you can leave the store and you can walk away and you can decide to not be an asshole. I hope this woman has learned her lesson, and I hope that she never does it to another person. I highly doubt that is the case, because people like this never change. But I won't stand down and let somebody pick on me and my kids. And I hope my kids see that as a strong woman and not some crazy woman who is embarrassing them. Breastfeeding is normal.